Welcome back students. இது 10th biologyல life processல second video. In the videoல we'll start with the nutrition, that is the first life process, how the or living organism is going to get energy. So any substance that provide energy for all functions of the body is called as the food, which we call it commonly as food, or otherwise it can be called as the nutrition. It is so simply called as the food that we are going to consume that gives us energy finally. And there are different types of nutrition. That is, the organism can take in the nutrition or obtain nutrition in different ways. So the basic different types of nutrition, very basically it is of two types. The nutrition, how an organism is getting nutrition is basically of two types. One is called as autotrophic nutrition and the other one is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Means living organism produces its own food. When it produces its own food, it is going to be called as, the nutrition is going to be called as the autotrophic nutrition, and the organism will be called as, so the organism, I am writing organism like this, organism is called as an autotroph. We will see how it produces food. And heterotrophic nutrition means any living organism that consumes food, means it is going to depend on other organisms for their food. Such organisms are said to be heterotrophs, and the nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So the organism is called as heterotrophs. So where is this autotrophic organisms producing their food? They are going to use carbon dioxide and water to produce their food. This is because, why is only carbon dioxide and water is being selected for producing their food is, it is only carbon containing substances are going to carry energy. So they are going to use this carbon dioxide for their energy giving food, and the energy giving food is the carbon dioxide and water used by the organism for production of a carbon containing substance that carry energy. So the carbon containing substance is going to be a carbohydrate. Whereas heterotrophic organisms, they are going to consume food directly, that is, they are going to directly depend, or they are indirectly dependent on autotrophs. So how are they directly dependent and how are they indirectly dependent? Example is, when we say they are directly dependent, for example, if it is cows, they are going to eat on grasses. Here the example of autotrophic organisms are going to be all plants and few bacteria. So these are going to be autotrophic organisms that use carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. With the help of water, they are going to produce carbohydrate, which is a carbon containing energy source. So the heterotrophic organisms, so they are directly dependent, means cows, they feed on grasses. These are plants that can produce the food, so they produce food and keep it with them, so that food is used by this cows, so they are directly dependent. And indirectly dependent, when we say lions, they are going to eat on deer. Deer eat on grasses. So deer is directly dependent on autotrophs, lion is indirectly dependent on the autotrophs. Example of heterotrophic organisms are fungi and all animals. All animals are going to be heterotrophic. Now we'll in detail study about autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. First is autotrophic nutrition. So autotrophic nutrition means the plants and few bacteria, they are going to use carbon dioxide, water to produce carbohydrate, and the process of production of food is called as photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, what is a plant doing is, it is going to use carbon dioxide, water and light energy and a pigment called chlorophyll to produce a carbohydrate. The carbohydrate that is going to be produced is glucose. So glucose is a simple carbohydrate that is produced by the plants using these substances in the process called photosynthesis. So why is this glucose produced? Is glucose is the energy source. That is, why is it called as energy sources? Glucose, when it is broken down, so by enzyme catalyzed reactions to yield energy. You will be studying this in detail, how glucose molecule is being broken down to yield energy in higher classes. So glucose is going to be a simple carbohydrate that is going to act as energy source. So photosynthesis is a process of production of nutrition, that is food for energy. So glucose is produced. So glucose production happens with the help of these substances, and the process is called as photosynthesis. And glucose, when produced in the plant, it has two works inside. It is either used as energy source, or if present in excess, that is, if a plant is producing more amount of glucose than its need, that excess glucose is going to be stored in form of starch, which is a complex carbohydrate again. So this is also a carbohydrate, but it is a complex carbohydrate made of glucose itself. So many glucose units are going to join together to store the glucose in form of starch. So this is autotrophic nutrition. Now we'll see how is food produced in presence of in the method of photosynthesis. So the steps involved in photosynthesis. So what is all required by the plant is going to be water first. Water is taken up by the plants from soil. So from soil it gets this water molecule. Carbon dioxide is going to be absorbed from atmosphere So from the air that is present around us, which we call it as the atmospheric air, it's going to have that carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide would be absorbed from the atmosphere. So how is it going to enter? Water is going to enter through roots. How is carbon dioxide going to enter? Is entry of carbon dioxide is through stomata. Stomata is a small opening found in leaves and young plant parts. Usually green colored plant parts is going to contain these stomata. So first we'll know what is the stomata, and then we'll go to the actual photosynthesis, Anna, because what we are seeing now here is what is all required for photosynthesis. So if in a leaf, so if this is, so I said you stomata is going to be present in leaves and young plant parts, more in number, very high in number only in the leaves. So if this is the upper surface, the under surface of the leaf, so we cut the leaf, so we'll cut it like this, and we are going to see it like this. This central big thing what we see in leaves is called as the midrib. So this one is called as midrib. So we are going to see the leaf in this manner. We are going to cut the leaf, see it in this way. So this part, this cut portion, this portion alone I have represented. This one is the midrib. So this is going to be the upper surface of the leaf, this is going to be the lower surface of the leaf. So we'll again zoom in only to this part of the leaf. So what is going to be present here is the upper surface cells. Surface cells are usually called as epidermis, that is going to be present on the upper surface, and then there are going to be few cells inside, we'll name it later on. So some cells arranged within the leaf on its inner side, that is in this region. So this layer is called as the upper surface of the leaf, which is called as the epidermis. And what is present in between is called as mesophyll cells. And what is present on the lower surface, so this surface, this lower surface, this is called as lower epidermis. And this lower epidermis is going to have specialized cells called as God cells. So in the God cells, நான் வந்துட்டு இந்த God cells மட்டும் வரைகிறேன். So these are going to be the God cells, and these God cells, when they are going to take in water, so they'll take more amount of water inside. When more amount of water is going to enter inside these cells, the cells are going to swell. But swelling vandittu will happen only on this end, will not happen in this end. So what happens is, when they are present without water, that is when they are present in absence of water, they are going to be closely present like this. So when they have very less water or no water inside them, these God cells are going to shrink. So without any water they are going to shrink, and because of shrinking there will not be any space between these two cells. But when they are going to take more water inside them, what would happen is the cells are going to swell, and swelling is going to happen only on this outer surface. Because of that the cell is pulled in this direction. So because of that there is an opening formed in between. This opening that is formed in between the cells is called as stomata. So there is an opening formed in the lower epidermis, and through this opening there would be gaseous exchange. So the carbon dioxide is going to enter inside the leaves through this stomata. So this is the function of stomata, and these cells are called as the God cells. And one more next requirement by the cell for photosynthesis process is going to be the chlorophyll pigment. chlorophyll is a light absorbing green colored pigment, and this chlorophyll pigment is present in organelles of the cell. Organelles அப்படினா செல்லுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற சின்ன சின்ன structures which are going to work for the cell, present in organelles called chloroplast. So chloroplast is present within the cell, and chlorophyll pigment is going to be present within chloroplast. So which cells will have these chloroplast? Chloroplast is present in mesophyll cells and God cells. So God cells and mesophyll cells will contain chloroplast. Within chloroplast, chlorophyll pigment will be present. This chlorophyll pigment is a light absorbing pigment. The next requirement by the cell for photosynthesis is going to be light. The source of light is going to be sunlight, and the sunlight is used up, or it is absorbed by this chlorophyll pigment, and with the help of that light energy, water and carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrate. So the process of photosynthesis, what happens in process of photosynthesis is, the first step is absorption of light energy by the chlorophyll pigment present in chloroplast. Second step is, this light energy that is absorbed is converted into chemical energy. Chemical energy of any cell is going to be ATP. That is the chemical energy of the cell. And with the help of this ATP, carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrate, that is glucose, using water and the ATP, chemical energy, that is the light energy is converted into chemical energy. So this is the process of photosynthesis, and this can be represented in a simple chemical formula: carbon dioxide plus water in presence of ATP and chlorophyll pigments can be converted into glucose. This is the formula for glucose, plus the water, some amount of water is broken to release into oxygen, and a little amount of water retains back to, this is the balancing of equation for formation of one glucose molecule. 6 carbon, there are going to be 6 carbons in glucose, so 6 carbon dioxide molecules has to be used. For each carbon dioxide molecule, 2 water molecules will be used, plus chlorophyll and ATP to form glucose, which is going to be the chief energy source of the cell. So this glucose can be either used up for energy source, or it can be stored in form of starch. So this is autotrophic nutrition seen in plants. Apart from this, plants also absorb minerals from the soil. So from using soil as the source, they are going to absorb minerals from the soil, minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium. Like this, there are going to be nearly 17 elements, minerals that are going to be absorbed from the soil by the plants. And nitrogen, which is taken from the soil, can be taken in different forms like nitrates, nitrites, or sometimes as ammonia also. So they can be absorbed in either one of these forms from the soil. So these are the major sources of the nutritions for the plant. In this video we have seen about the autotrophic nutrition seen in plants. Next video we'll see about heterotrophic nutrition seen in animals.